Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Back to History 101. This time, the subject is the Negro Project.
Hi, how you doing, family? We're back now to look at the Negro Project. The Negro Project is something that started in Harlem, New York in 1916. And there were black people, of course, all of Harlem wasn't black at the time, or so-called black, but there were some of us living in Harlem. And where we were living is where they started the Negro Project. Now, the Negro Project, this is a very controversial subject, I understand, but we need to have a clear insight into this. The Negro Project was started in 1916 by a woman named Margaret Sanger, who lived from 1879 to 1966. She was a woman that, if you Google her, you can see how I should have put my phone up, but if you Google her, you'll see her in 1926 at a Klan rally, and all the Klansmen are giving her a Nazi salute. If you please Google it, Margaret Sanger, KKK, 1925, you'll see it, believe me, you'll see it. And she made comments like this: we don't want the word to get out that we're trying to exterminate Negroes, because that was her purpose. She was into the eugenics movement. Look that up, with Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, who was a eugenics in 1925 or so. And that's who Adolf Hitler listed as his hero, because they're trying to bring about having a race of people that are birthed and eliminating other races, which is basically what the eugenics movement is. So Margaret Sanger, who we're talking about, said, we don't want the word to get out that we're trying to exterminate the Negro population. She also said black soldiers who fought for this country and Jewish people are a nemesis to the human race. She also said that the most merciful thing, now hear me well, the most merciful thing a large family could do with one of its infants is to kill it. This is a direct quote from Margaret Sanger. This is the people that some people revere. And lastly, of course, she said, we need children from fit people and less children from unfit people. This woman started Planned Parenthood. A couple years later, they changed, the Negro Project, which is what it was called. Then they changed it to Planned Parenthood. Now I know women are gonna say, oh, I need my OBGYN doctor and all this kind of thing. You can get that in other clinics. You can get that at the hospital. Planned Parenthood is not the only place for that. Planned Parenthood is celebrated for abortion. Now let's get to it. The abortions that they've done 56 million children dead since 1973, Roe versus Wade. 56 million children dead, 80% of which are black and brown. That's roughly about 45.6 million dead black and brown since 1973. When you want to talk about we don't have enough voting and enough, this is where all your people are gone, you're killing them. And granted, she just facilitated it. It's you sisters still marching down there and killing your children. You all are marching for women's rights, which is fine, but you're marching for rights to murder your children? I don't get it. And not only that, a woman can't impregnate herself. It's the man's seed that impregnates her. So your body may carry the seed to term 9 months, but it's also the man's child. It's not just your child. Don't be so selfish. Some women abort these babies without even telling the father. That's not correct. But see, this is a mentality. Now we got $500 million a year, especially when Democrats are in office, taxpayer money going to fund these abortions. It's actually illegal to have abortions where you keep the heart, the lungs, the liver intact, but this is what they're doing. How do we know? Because their cameras proved it. And what are they doing with this money? They're selling parts of fetuses to the medical market. And that is an unregulated industry. It's not even regulated. And they're making millions off of that. Because, again, they study melanin, and they need the melanin in some of these fetuses to go into some of their medicines for Caucasian people. If you don't believe me, Look it up and do your research. I'm not saying that women don't have a right to do what they want with their bodies. What I am saying is Margaret Sanger was a racist, and she hated black people. According to her own admission, I read you some of her quotes. So according to her own admission, she hated black people, she hated brown people. She also said Slavs, Jewish people, black people, and Latinos. She said should be weeds, human weeds, and should be exterminated. These are her quotes. Now, in New York City in 2020, they're talking about taking her name off the Planned Parenthood building in New York City. And the street where it is, there's a whole square in front of there which bears her name, Margaret Sanger Square. Well, now you're talking about taking it down. Why? Because this is the Black Lives Matter movement. Black Lives Matter from the womb to the tomb. So, but our lives mattered in the 1970s. Why? I didn't see you guys taking her name off then. It mattered in the 80s. Didn't see you guys taking it off then. Our lives mattered in the 90s. Why didn't you take her name off? So you guys are doing this for political expediency, to seem like you're friends of black people, so you can get these black women to keep volunteering to come down and kill their babies. Sisters, please stop killing your offspring. We need a more moral high code on this one here, a moral compass, which is at a higher level. Keep your legs closed if you're gonna be getting pregnant without a man that you don't wanna marry. Keep your legs closed. And another thing is for women, men too, but for women, you should not dress so provocatively. And I'm gonna tell you as a man, because when you do that, you're not attracting a husband. Husband material don't look at that. He looks in at that, the guy that looks at that is the guy that wants to split it, lick it, hit it, and quit it. There's no other way to say it. That's what he wants to do. In other words, he's going to use you and then go to the next woman and the next woman. And he don't care how many of you all impregnate. And because it's not pragmatic for some of you, you're going to march down to Planned Parenthood and get rid of the child. This is not a way to build strong black communities or black family. This is ridiculous. And people don't respect us as a nation because we're killing our own seed. We're killing our own children. You want to murder your children? I just don't, I'll never understand that. I'll never understand that. But it's not good for black people or so-called black people, and they're killing mostly you. You know, they don't even have Planned Parenthoods in a lot of these rich white areas. You know what they have there? Fertility clinics where they want to give you pills so that you can get pregnant because their birth rate is at such a low rate. Hispanic and so-called black people having babies left and right. They're killing your babies, and they're trying to get white women pregnant. Do you see what's going on? I hope you do. Don't fall into that. That's a racist agenda. Margaret Sanger's legacy lives on, and millions and millions and millions still being killed. The Nazis didn't even kill that many people. Are you kidding? 56 million people? We killed 45 million. Imagine if we had 45 million more black people in the country right now. Where would our voting power be? Look at the percentage of what we would have. Come on, now we got to do better than that. We got to stop with the madness. You know, even Dr. Du Bois and Martin Luther King supported Margaret Sanger in their day. Du Bois even said on her board, I don't respect Du Bois even before that. He did a lot of things that were, you know, not very good for black people. And Martin Luther King, at least he said at the end, I fear that I integrated my people in a burning house. He understood that a lot of things he did was incorrect for his people at the end of his life. So I give him credit for that. But we got to get out of this mentality. These people hate you. Don't fall for their BS, and they're not trying to be your friend. Please stop killing your children. Let's have strong black families and not more black people, so-called black people. All right, thanks a lot. And please look up Margaret Sanger on Google and see her at the Klan rally meetings with them giving her the Nazi salute. And lastly, and Hillary Clinton said that's her hero, right? 66% of white women voted for Trump. They didn't vote for Hillary. Why? Because race-based politics always matter to these people. They don't want to empower you, even over this feminist agenda. So let's be smart. All right.